a musical, you take me home in a taxi. And you make a few passes.
Now, wait a minute, dear. That is a very inaccurate piece of reporting.
Oh, I will admit that after the Vernon play, you told me I had authentic beauty. And that's a hell of a thing to say to a girl. It wasn't until after our first musical you told me I had nice legs. And I have, too.
For a minister's daughter, you know a lot about life. Where'd you learn it?
The choir loft.
I'll have to explain that to you sometime. The close relationship between eroticism and religion.
Oh, religion never gets as high as the choir loft. Which reminds me, I better run and tell Father, please not wait up for me tonight.
I've never been able to rationalize it.
What?
My falling in love with a girl who lives in Brooklyn.
Falling in love? You're not stooping to the articulate, are you?
No, dear. The only way I can regain my self-respect is to keep you in New York.
Did you say keep?
No. I presume you're holding out for the legalities.
Oh, I can afford to be a good girl for a few years yet.
And I can't wait that long. Where can we be married in a hurry? Say tonight.
Oh, I'm afraid Father will insist on officiating.
Oh, God. I'm sure your father could make even the marriage services sound pedestrian.
Are you by chance writing a review of it?
Forgive me, dear. Occupational disease. I may give that play tonight a good notice.
Oh, don't pretend you love me that much.
Be sure to tell your father to not wait up tonight.
I think tonight I'd better tell him to wait for me.
All right, I'll phone Winchell and tell him to publish the banns.
Nevertheless.
Fine, everything formal and legal, but no later than next month.
Oh, darling. I'll talk it over with Father and set a date.
No, we'll have to see what's in rehearsal. There are a lot of opening nights in October.
Hello there, Mortimer!
How are you, Mr. President?
Good. What news have you brought me?
Just this, Mr. President. The country is squarely behind you.
I know. Isn't it wonderful? Well, goodbye. Oh, goodbye.
Where are you off to, Teddy?
Panama.
Panama is in the cellar. We let him dig locks for the canal down there.
Oh, you're so sweet with him, and he's very fond of you.
Well, Teddy was always my favorite brother.
Favorite? Were there more of you?
Yes. There was another brother, Jonathan.
Well, I've never heard of him. Your aunts never mentioned him.
We don't like to talk about Jonathan. He left Brooklyn very early, by request. He was the kind of boy that liked to cut worms in two, with his teeth.
Oh. What became of him?
I don't know. He wanted to be a surgeon like grandfather, but he wouldn't go to medical school first, and his practice got him into trouble.
Aren't you two going to be late for the theater?
We're skipping dinner. We shouldn't have to start for another half hour.
Oh, well, I'll leave you two alone together then.
Oh, don't bother, darling. I'm going to run over to speak to Father. Before I go out with you, he likes to pray over me a little. I'll just be right back. I'll cut through the cemetery.
If the prayer isn't too long, I may have time to lead you beside distilled waters.
Mortimer, that's the first time I've heard you quote the Bible. We knew Elaine would be a good influence for you.
By the way, I'm going to marry that girl.
What? Oh, darling! Oh, Martha, come in here. I've got the most wonderful news. Mortimer and Elaine are going to be married.
Married? Oh, Mortimer!
Oh, we hoped it would happen just like this.
Well, Elaine must be the happiest girl in the world.
Happy? Just look no, on Miss Stout's left ear. A red-crested swallow. I've only seen one before in my life.
How can you be thinking about a bird at a time like this, while with the engagement and everything?
It's a vanishing species. Thoreau was very fond of them. By the way, I was here sometime last week, and I left a large envelope lying around. It contained a chapter from my book on Thoreau. Have you seen it?
Well, if you left it here, it must be here somewhere.
What are your plans? When are you going to be married? Surely there's something more you can tell us about Elaine.
Elaine? She thought it was brilliant.
What was, dear?
My chapter on Thoreau.
Well, I think when Elaine gets back, we must have a little celebration. We must drink to your happiness. Martha, isn't there some of that late Baltimore cake left?
Oh, yes.
And I'll open a bottle of wine.
The fact that it happened in this room.
Now, where did I put that?
Well, with your fiancé sitting beside you tonight, maybe the theater will be something you'll enjoy for once. It may be something romantic. What's the name of it?
Murder Will Out.
Oh, dear.
When the curtain rises, the first thing you see will be a dead body. Ah! Aunt Abby, could you come in here?
Yes, dear.
You were arranging for Teddy to go to that sanitarium, Happy Day.
Yes, dear. Dr. Harper was here today. He's made all the arrangements. He brought the papers for Teddy to sign. Here they are.
He's got to sign them right now.
Well, that's what Dr. Harper thinks. That way there won't be any legal difficulties once we pass on.
He's got to sign them immediately. He's down in the cellar. Get him up here.
Oh, there's no such hurry as all that, dear.
No, once Teddy starts digging on the canal, there's no getting his mind on anything else.
Right away, I tell you, right away.
Mortimer, how can you say such a thing like that? Why, as long as we live, we'll never be separated from Teddy.
Darlings, this is going to come as quite a shock. Now, we've all got to remember to keep our heads. You know, we've always humored Teddy because we thought he was harmless.
Well, he is harmless.
Was harmless. That's why he's got to go to Happydale now, tonight. Why he's got to be confined.
Mortimer, why have you suddenly turned against Teddy, your own brother?
Well, you've got to find out sooner or later. It might as well be now. Teddy's killed a man.
Oh, nonsense, dear.
There's a body in the window seat.
Yes, dear, we know.
She has nothing to do with Teddy.
You know? Well, who is he?
Hoskins, Adam Hoskins. That's really all I know about him, except that he's a Methodist.
What happened to him?
He died.
Aunt Martha, men don't just climb into window seats and die.
No, he died first.
How?
Oh, Mortimer, don't be so inquisitive. The gentleman died because he drank some wine with poison in it.
How did the poison get into his wine?
Well, we put it in the wine, dear, because it's less noticeable. But it's acidic, it has a distinct odor.
You put the poison in his wine?
Yes, and I put him in the window seat because Dr. Harper was coming for tea.
So you knew what you had done, and you didn't want Dr. Harper to see the body.